Ron, what's a good place for Finn's parents to live?
So, funny you should ask. I have actually researched. There's sort of a neighborhood in the far west side of San Antonio that's called the Alamo Ranch area, where just tract house subdivisions are going up as fast as they can get people in the houses. And it's close to the bases, so a lot of military people live out there. It's also a pretty good, pretty easy drive to the university, so that kind of works for UTSA, so that kind of works for Jennifer. So that's where I would put him, and it's kind of just this. If you picture, what I would picture is just sort of a suburb full of tract houses with grass that's alternately
new. Right.
Well, might already be blasted by the heat, but
right.
You know how in new suburbs the trees are all like just saplings still,
right?
And there's not a drop of shade to be found anywhere.
This is actually sort of important. So this isn't the house that Liam and Finn grew up in.
I imagine not. I imagine we moved around.
Right.
I guess it wouldn't be. It would be a house.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, good.
It would be the house they bought after they got them out of the.
Right. Perfect. So what I have
finally
now.
A house to ourselves. Oh wait, here he comes back again.
That's right. So, really, exactly. Good point. Let's go ahead and cut to this, to where Jen and Finn are gazing at the side door of the garage and kind of looking at each other like, okay, who's going to touch it first? And Jen says, so, I'll go in, be ready to grab me if.
Okay.
Right. So she has a key, of course. So she unlocks the door, swallows, opens it, and looks around, says, "No goo." And then she steps in, and then she kind of like squeaks because all of a sudden a whole bunch of it has just actively pooled right in front of her. And it's not like swarming on her, but it's pooled right in front of her, and she like takes a couple of steps back and goes, "Ooh, you weren't kidding."
No.
And so she kind of puts one hand out, like almost as if it was an animal, just because it makes her feel better. And puts one hand out and goes, okay. Walks to the side, and it kind of swirls a little bit. She goes, okay, it doesn't seem to be gooping me. Okay. And she kind of like looks over and she goes, "Oh wow, look at that!" And the cabinet that had your experiment in it has been burst open, and a couple of the other jars have fallen and been broken, and their goo isn't moving. So so she's going, "Oh wow." Anyway, she's able to get to your kind of your stash part. And is able to bring you what you need, to get your drink, right, where you stick your tongue in and all the tentacles come out and slurp it up, right?
Suck it up.
Right. She thinks nothing of this. This is all just normal to her. So she's right. But she's like, that stuff doesn't look right. Where did you get it? And here we should probably talk a little bit about your biohacker buddies.
Okay.
Right. You guys have a very clandestine way of communicating that is only here in the garage. So it's not like you can get phone calls from these people. So very much dark web kind of interactions.
Okay.
So there is a way for you to find out if there's, to communicate with them about this if you want to. But the stuff is still kind of moving in there, and when you go in there, it moves toward you and starts to clump up in the middle. So
Okay.
you've got your dose, but it can still. I mean, you know if this stuff touches you, you're going to take some damage.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have to make a dexterity roll just to stay away from it in its kind of creepy, coming after you, got to move my chair sort of situation. So
Okay.
I figure you have a rolly chair in there. You just keep rolling it.
Yes, I'm. Let's go tentacly. I have tentacles pulling me along the ceiling.
Right, and Jen
Keep
at the
moving
same
like that.
time is walking along its margin saying, "Shoo, shoo." So tell me about your intelligence roll. Or your dexterity roll.
Dex roll. My dexterity roll is. I thought I'd written that down.
No,
so
it's
this would
13
be-
or less. I know that.
Okay. In that case, I rolled.
Actually,
a
14.
Six.
14 or less. Okay, so we rolled a what?
A 6.
Okay, perfect. Right, so you're able to kind of keep out of the, it's slow enough that you're able to keep out of its reach, and you don't slip and fall face first in it, which is what would happen if you miss the roll. So therefore, that's fine. Do you want to investigate any communications from the biohackers or anything like that?
Yes. Okay. Let's do that and see if they have any.
Okay. So this is just before the other two show up. Then here's what's up. Two things. Number one is that much to the shock of everybody in the biohacker group, that this material actually was apparently, it's not itself, it doesn't have cells in it, but it was taken from live culture, which is something that nobody, including you, has seen before. This is not multi-generational lab culture. This was taken from some kind of fresh source.
Okay.
Number one. And number two, a good half of the biohackers that you know have gone dark. Their accounts are eliminated. They're gone. And there's one message from one of them to you which says, basically it's the Mayday signal. There's something is happening out there among the various biohackers, and it's not good. They're going dark. They're going underground. They're disappearing, perhaps.
Okay. Right. Bad, but one problem at a time.
Jen goes, "Oh shit, Finn!"
And it's moving towards me, no doubt.
Nope. It's clumped up even more, and has actually taken on a semblance of humanoid form. And the face is very, very highly individualized. Very much an adult male face. With a lot of... It's a very recognizable face. It's not generic. So, looks at you and starts to mouth words, and then the whole thing collapses again.
Okay. I think this needs to go in the tank. And maybe...
Right, says Jen. Me first. And she looks around and finds an old push broom and says, "Here. It gets frisky, use this." And so she goes in and soaks for a while. And gets out of the tank. And so you guys will, with a certain amount of effort, will manage to get the thing into the tank. And right about then is when the visitors show up.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
Who comes in first? Are we there at the same time?
Sure.
We just want to...
So I meet the oblate first at the door, right?
Well, let's see. We've got a suburban house. We've got a garage. And frankly, it doesn't matter to me how everybody arrives. It seems to me as though Michael probably would have been on the way first.
Right.
So therefore, I'm going to say Michael shows up first. Michael, you haven't been at this place before.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So you're kind of looking around and saying, well, so this is it.
And assuming I heard his car come up, I'm going to poke my head out of the garage and say, Michael, hi. Yeah, this is my parents' place. Do you want to come in and I'll take him to the house rather than use my biohacking garage place?
For some reason, there's a shower stall in the garage, and for some reason, Jen Edwards is getting dressed in it.
All right, well.
And this place is and you get a real good look at the laboratory, and also the wreckage over at the locker is evident.
Okay. Well, this is something else. Looks like you had an accident?
Yes. Do you want a cup of coffee?
Sure.
The cup of coffee?
Right. Just coffee?
That's right. The coffee machine is right next to something with all kinds of questionable fluid in it. Like, right next to it.
But it's a nice coffee machine. I'm a barista.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's true. He can make a mean cup of coffee. That's for sure.
So, can I come in now?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Yeah,
come in.
Sure. Is the garage door open when I arrive, or is it closed? Do I have to bang on the door or something?
I think you probably habitually keep that thing closed.
I've been envisioning there's a door in the side of the garage.
Right.
Yeah, so I arrive and I text him I'm here, it's closed, hello.
Right. Jen will open the door and say, hey, she'll actually look around a little bit to make sure that, she obviously treats this with a certain amount of caution, looks around a little bit, and then says, gestures to you like this, without calling out.
All right, so I come in, I say hi to everyone. And
don't step in that, she says.
Oh, and what is something?
There's some kind of gooey residue on the floor.
Oh, all right.
On part of the floor.
So I'm
Brian.
I'm a bit. Oh, hello. This is your lab, man. How are you?
Yeah. Welcome. Make yourself comfortable. Find a chair. Michael. Right. Brian. Michael.
Oh, hello. I shake his hand. Yes.
Right.
You are the lawyer Finn mentioned, right?
He knows a lot about superhero law.
Yeah,
that's great.
I'm not practicing law per se currently, but I do have a lot of contacts. And if you tell me about your case, I should be able to tell you if you've got a case and recommend someone. So.
Oh, sure. That's great. Are you Are you helping him as well with law stuff? That's how you guys met?
Not exactly.
Not exactly. It's a long story.
Okay.
I'm sort of looking at Finn to see.
Right. I mean, what are we talking about here? Because I'm about to play Jen. So somebody speak up first.
Michael, I think you can trust him. I think he's on the side of right.
All right. Well, okay. I guess you could say it's more superhero stuff is how we superhero, if you will. Stuff is how we know each other.
You're a superhero as well. Are you even registered?
Yeah, we're working on that. It's a long story.
Oh, yeah, I bet it's some paperwork.
I'm not supposed to be.
Jen crosses her arms and says, "Wow, I've got my own harem of superheroes in here."
All right. Calm down, lady. I'm married.
You've not met Jen before. She seems real easy, real, unflappable.
Yeah.
She's almost like totally adopted. She's almost totally adopted you already. You know?
That's the impression I got.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Mandy, do you have like to buy your powers or something? Are you rich?
No, it's a program I'm working with.
Oh, that's cool.
Anyway, Brian, what was your issue you needed help with?
Yeah.
I didn't kind of get it the other night.
You wouldn't believe it. I am actually facing two major problems right now, unrelated, both legalistic, and both related to my powers and my job. I have where do I begin? I think they're trying to like fire me from my position. Like they are outsourcing campus police. They are bringing in new policemen, and I'm not sure what's my. I think they don't like me there anymore. The new guys, like they want me out. They want to be the most.
Now,
powerful
Michael
player
does
there.
know about the events at UTSA.
Oh, right, yeah, that would be.
But that would be,
new stuff.
although exactly, what was it? Radical protesters clashed with, speakers. They always say clash, right? They never.
Yes,
you know how that goes,
Right.
And then another point about it is that Kroll, of course, was not mentioned.
Right.
Yes.
Cool.
And also, and on the other hand, I also had a visit from the people from Monsanto who own my powers, and they are like trying to see if they can charge the university for the license to have me as an employee, and I really need this job, man. That's how I'm paying through college. So I don't know
Right.
what could I do.
There's
So
also you know just
I
enough
pay my
now that you're
lessons
thinking.
every month.
Yeah, now that you're thinking about it, then because this is actually kind of in Michael's sort of zone, he presents an unusual. You're like, oh yeah, this guy, because it's kind of public knowledge that he inherited. He inherited his powers.
Oh, this is the flat. Yeah, so I would know.
Now you're like, oh yes, this guy. Yeah.
Okay. So I would be sort of asking him for more specific details, and he would. I mean, I remember most of that exchange with Santiago and
Right.
you. So, but Michael would be asking for more details, and then be saying, "Well, it sounds like you've got a case. I mean, honestly, this is just uncharted territory. So, their proprietary claims are pretty much made up. On the other hand, the problem is just about everything about superhero law is made up at this point. So you just need a good lawyer. Now, I will say that I believe my wife knows some people at Fipsteek and Anderson, which specializes in farming law, and will have had many legal contacts with Monsanto, and could be in a good position to get you out of the situation, possibly get you a settlement if that turns out to be eligible. In any case, what I would say is you don't have anything to worry about from that angle for now. I will get some people working. I'll get someone calling you, and I think you've got a good shot in court. With the other thing, can you clarify? I need to know what happened on campus during that rally, since I assume that whatever problems you're having are sort of related to that incident.
Well, it's right-wing protesters making a what's it, a program rally? What's that? That's what it was?
Yeah. They would
And
say
again,
a campus rally. Yeah.
And again,
Yes,
I
and
remember.
they were in cahoots
Yeah.
with people from the police, not the campus police, but the
Right. Since Ross
Yes.
knows this, we can just say that your character explains it.
Yeah, I'm mainly trying to get it to see if what he will say, or if Finn will jump in
Right.
and explain that he was there.
There was a small misunderstanding involving projectiles. We don't need to go into that too much.
Okay.
Everything's fine. It's all fine now. But I think there's a crackdown at the UTAS campus.
All right. Well,
Whichever UTSA campus. Right. I don't know what it's like.
I don't get why I arrested people and now I am in trouble. I arrested people who are breaking the law, and suddenly they are giving me trouble about it at work.
Well, universities are by nature easily scared by controversy. Ironically enough.
Yes. Finn may drop the name, may explain the connection, though, with Z and Academy.
Yes. So, did you say his new bosses? They're people from Academy.
Wait, what?
And I think we had a run-in with some of them. Maybe the other one.
Oh, really?
You've met people from Academy who are in town now?
Yes, they're sort of like my new bosses, I don't even get it, but they're the new campus police. They're teaching the other cops how to
teaching
behave.
them what?
Some scary ass shit, man. They're like
tactics,
cruelty. That's how I would put it. They're teaching them cruelty, and I'm worried about that.
Do you have names?
Yes, Rod Ruiz is their leader.
Make a ego attack
really
roll.
Scary guy.
Yeah, I want Santiago to make an ego attack roll. So roll 3 dice, please.
An ego attack roll.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you're trying
what's your ego? Well, remember he can't control his telepathy. It kicks on and off. So
gotcha.
he can do it when he wants to, but it goes on and off when he doesn't want as well. So
good
this
instincts, Ron.
Yeah.
Ego 14 over here is what. So I have a DCV 5.
$12.
That will work. Okay, so what happens is that you're picking up. Roll your. We'll call it 7 dice. It's either 5 or 7, but roll 7. You're having a good day.
All right.
I have a contribution.
22.
What's your intelligence, Michael?
It is 20.
Right, so he only gets 1 times your intelligence. But he is picking up, therefore, what surface thoughts does he get?
But if I may, I am definitely thinking about Scorpion and Brimstone. And if I may jiggle the pinball machine a little bit, I definitely have a very strong sense memory of what it smelled like.
Oh yes. He thought there's no question at all. He immediately Brian immediately realizes that that the Oblate fought Brimstone, and it was a very, very terrifying and brutal experience. And you suddenly realize how the church got how the church at the Oblate School of Theology got trashed. Tentacles seizing the Virgin Mary. It was pretty crazy.
Do we get a reaction shot here?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think that Brian is not going to be able to keep his cool.
No. I'm like, whoa.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I comb my hair a little bit again, and I say, "Oh, and one more thing. This Ruiz guy, he's actually got superpowers."
Yeah, you guys see that he reacted very strongly
Can I
to
get
nothing.
Can I
All
get
of a
an
sudden,
intelligence roll off of that?
yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got my roll is
Matter of fact,
13.
you've been conversing with him a little bit too, Ross. You should be able to pick something up. Ross, make an intelligence roll as well.
Okay, that's not
Okay.
bad.
So that's I got a 10, which is MOS 3 if we were playing GURPS. I don't know
No, 10.
how that works.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
difference from target number doesn't mean anything in Champions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Ross, did you make it?
No, I got 15.
Ah, okay. So, Michael realizes that Brian has an odd habit of answering things and reacting to things that other people didn't quite say, but they think that they said it. When he responds, they think, that they just sort of feel as though they must have said it, or it was so appropriate to what they were about to say that they sort of forget that they didn't say it yet. So, yeah, you just realize that his conversations are oddly non-verbal.
Okay. Good.
To some extent.
I'll say, let's be candid here. And then I'll instant change into the oblate.
Right. 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 And then, right, Jenna slip on the slippery floor and sit down and say, "Shit! Can't you warn a girl?" You do shit like that.
Brian, I've sensed you reading my mind.
How do I get out of this?
Right. You're like, busted.
What do I have to roll?
It just happened.
No, I can't.
Oh boy, didn't realize it.
I tried
right.
to play it cool though.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Brian makes a whole bunch of ridiculous excuses.
Yeah, like what? Like, what? I'm the flying boy, Texas flying boy, man, not Texas mind reading boy. Come on. Nice outfit, by the way.
Right.
That looks. Cool.
Jen puts her hand on her forehead and points at you and says, "Don't even start."
I have no idea what you guys are. I'm now like, I'm not combing my hair. I'm letting it worse than it was.
Right.
I'm looking ridiculous. I actually, you know what? How do you say when you? Wow, I walk backwards and bump into something in the lab. Is there anything I can bump into?
Be careful with that.
Like,
you've had enough trouble in here already.
That's right.
All right.
Oh,
right. Well,
that's another thing, Brian. There is a sixth mind in this garage.
Yeah.
I zero in on it. Zero in, is that how you call it when you into something in English? Yes, I stop thinking about anything else and I just concentrate on that.
It's in the tank. It's in that big tank over there that's kind of like a huge tank that you might, I don't know, keep a body in or something like that.
All right.
Matter of fact, you even see like a little step or a little ladder built onto the side of it. Obviously, somebody gets in and out of that tank.
I want to focus my telepathy on it as much as I can. Okay. I want to read as much as I can into it.
Roll you already got the 22. That's okay. It's the same thing. So, yes. Again, it's desperate, and it cuts in and out. And somebody is desperately attempting to live and to, for lack of a better word, to stay together. Somebody is coming apart and forcing themselves back together in a struggle.
So I still have my civil clothes on, but I put on the mask immediately.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and I look directly at Finn, and with all the you tell me if I have to roll for this, but with all the presence I can master, I tell him what's in the tank.
I'm not entirely sure. Me and some friends have been acquired some biomaterial, and this is behaving really strangely. Maybe, I don't know how it can be a person, but maybe it's a person. I don't really know.
Tell us what you sensed, Brian, with your mind.
I'm happy to say that that's what I said, actually. So everyone hears that.
I walk towards the tank and I push my hand onto it and try to...
Be careful.
I try to make some sort of connection with it. I close my eyes. What do I sense from it? You said, Ron, that it was someone trying to get out. Is it like a human mind or like a dog mind? I don't know.
It's a human mind. However, the tentacle that arcs up out of the fluid and over the edge of the tank and seizes you and squishes you is not very human. So, guys, it's not just one tentacle coming up like that either.
We just got it calmed down as well.
Do I have time to VPP?
Yeah, well, it's, I would say that we are about to go into combat, so I'll give you the time so you can set it up the way you want to, but It is going to be a roll.
Okay. Are you asking me to go ahead and tell you what I am doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, I will summon the innervating whip of Nam Shama Roth, whatever. I'm gonna write a name down later. But I'm thinking 5 points of stretching, it's a whip, and a lot of endurance drain. Maybe some skill levels. Well, no, you can't do skill levels with a BPP king. All right, well, I guess it's going to all be endurance drain then. Maybe 10 points stretching, 20 points endurance drain.
Right, so that is going to be 20 points of endurance drain is 46.
I don't know. Is there 10 points worth of stretching in this
situation?
Situation?
Absolutely, because if you don't use 10 points of stretching, you're going to have to go over
4 meters.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And because even if you had 5 points of stretching, let's just say that it could get you real easy.
Gotcha.
Right.
All right. That's what I'm doing. With my VP. Or you want me to roll the skill? Roll the skill. That is a 10, which is under the...
No problem. So, cool. Oh, man, dropping dice everywhere. I get so excited I drop my dice. Okay. The first thing to do is that you're definitely going to be surprised. So your range of action is a little bit limited. However, you can... We now go down by in order of dexterity for this particular segment. We are on segment 12.
All right.
Highest dexterity is definitely Finn.
So Finn goes full crawl, and tentacles burst from my shoulders, purple flesh, all that sort of good stuff. While yelling at Jen to get out of it, because that is Really a good idea.
Right. The instant change is actually, I believe, a 0-phase action, which is kind of awesome. And that you and yelling at Jen is also free, a free action. None of those have used up your action.
Okay, so I don't want to go anywhere near this thing. So I am. I don't know how timings would work with this. I want to start rummaging through things in my shelves and cabinets and things, trying to find something that might either calm this thing down or given I've understood that there's something that's trying to reform itself, maybe accelerate that process along.
Excellent. So
I imagine this might involve an intelligence roll, but
yes, this is going to be an intelligence roll to find the thing you want that will have the effect you want.
Okay.
So yes, I actually think of your tentacles actually lashing out and grabbing things from different locations.
This is totally a manic war of tentacles against the cabinets.
Yes, it's gotten a very hentai in here all of a sudden. So, and Ross, intelligence roll.
Oh dear, these never go well. Ooh, I got 10, which is
excellent.
1 under.
You have a half-phase action remaining to you, and unless you want to use any movement, you can stay where you are. You have the stretching to stretch all over the place. So you don't have to go anywhere. Another benefit of stretching right there, and also this is another big benefit. This is where having 4 extra limbs is going to give you a single half-phase action to get all the stuff you need.
Okay, all the stuff I need. Right. I'm tempted to say all the stuff I need now gets tipped into the side of the tank, but that seems a little...
No. We're acquiring. You're going to have to do science on this stuff.
I know. I'm
right. I mean, you can't... Science doesn't do itself,
Science with an exclamation mark after it doesn't do it.
That's right. So this is your dexterity roll.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's do that. Okay, and that was an 8. So
excellent. All right, so fantastic. Thinking quickly, Crawl says, are you going to announce what you're doing as a free action?
Why not?
I mean, Mr. Fantastic has to inform everybody exactly what his little, right.
It seems like there's a person in there, and Brian's clearly getting to know him. I'm going to try and help him reform, because it seems like we should all get to know them. I just need to find the right chemical compound that's going to accelerate the stabilization process and catalyze the reabsorption metabolic enzyme processes.
The letterer gets out his dictionary and sets to work. All right. Now,
maybe I know what I'm talking about. I doubt it. I'm not entirely sure Finn knows what he's talking about either.
Finn probably. You made the intelligence roll. Finn knows what he's talking about. So let's go ahead and have that rolling. Then the next person to go, I believe, is going to be Brian, whose dexterity is not great, but it's better than Michael's. And so...
So I shoot up vertically as hard as I can, flying like... It's the way I would use the power to punch through a roof, in normal conditions. Like I go up.
Yeah.
I will either get off the grab, or more interestingly, pull the thing out, with me. But I'm going full power, vertically up.
Excellent.
Yes.
So you're going to be matching. What you're doing is you are basically attempting to escape a grab. So therefore, you're going to be matching the active points of your flight, which is, I believe, 50 points. He's fast. and matching that against the strength of this situation. The way we're going to handle this is a little bit unusual. You're going to be rolling for the physical power of your attempts to break free. This is an odd roll. You're going to roll dice for the movement, which is going to be 10 dice. So get 10 dice out. And you're going to be lucky because you don't have to calculate all of them by counting them. Instead, what you're going to do is you're going to roll them, and you're going to count them in an unusual way.
All right, 1, 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. There I have, yes, 10 dice. Do I roll them now?
Yes, you do.
What do I do now?
Okay, take away every one and throw it away.
Yes.
Now
Done.
count the rest of the dice and count any 6 as 2.
Oh,
Right.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dice, and the 6, which will make it 7
one more.
dice.
That's right. So 7, you say, and this is called body.
Okay.
So you rolled a bunch of 1s, is that correct?
Yes, 3 ones.
3 ones.
Well, that means that you get so far, and the 11 body of the grab, they each had 10 dice. It was 10 dice on 10 dice, and it got a much better roll. And so the 11 body of the grab stops you. You get this far, and you're like, stopped. And of course, what happens with 11 body against 7, where do you think you end up? Splash.
No, I am inside the tank now.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
So,
Well,
This is fucked up.
mm-hmm.
It's fine. Jen's in there all the time.
well, Brian.
Yeah, as a matter,
Not to see with somebody else.
I was going to say at this point, Jen is going to is going to shout, "Get out of there!" You're going to also be taking some damage at this point. Now, since your flying was up, your force field does apply. You won't be taking any body damage, but you will be taking 39 points of stun. We're going to subtract 25, so you'll take 14 points of stun.
All right.
A couple of more hits like that, and you'll be unconscious. So the effect. What's basically happened is the force of the tentacle slamming you back into the tank.
Damn.
So.
Do I see where the tentacle is coming from?
Yes, there is. The tank is not full of fluid. It's only partly full of fluid. A great deal of it seems to be a bulking, swelling, distorted human body with tentacles sprouting out. Well, at the moment, it's kind of hard to tell how many and from where because you're occupied.
Yes.
But
All right.
but yes, that's what's there. It's a very slippery situation. Now, the next person to go is Michael.
All right. Well, this seems to call for action. So I'm going to whip my whip, and I'm sort of picturing it as like I'm sort of telekinetically moving it around because it's a stretching thing. But I'm just going to try to whip and make contact with the goo and drain some endurance.
Okay, roll to hit. It's fairly big, so it's not going to be that hard to hit.
That is a 10.
No problem.
Okay.
Roll 46 for the endurance drain, and I should start tracking some of this stuff.
Oh God. Well, that's only 10. How disappointing.
Right then. Well. Aren't we up for some fun now? Everybody will take a recovery. So Brian.
Oh, it was a total waste of time.
So Brian is going to that time.
That time, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I had minus 14 stand, so
Now you're minus 6. Okay.
now I'm minus 6.
Right,
Perfect.
but you also blew some endurance as well in trying to fly.
Yes.
But I didn't calculate that because I knew that your recovery would compensate.
Stun that I lost as a result.
The stun that you lost as a result of the the previous problems, right? Remember?
Yeah.
That's all taken care of when you got the dose and were okay. So you're actually in pretty good shape, and it hasn't attacked you yet. When it does, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
When it does, I'll get susceptibility and
right.
Well,
Right. So we're going to go to segment 2. And I don't think anybody in the room goes on segment 2.
No.
All right.
It does.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm drowning.
All right. So the first thing is for its attempt to think. That's a 9 to 12. It fails. So that means that its next half phase action is going to be violent. And so, well, it's already got you. And there's another source of this kind of power or energy in the room, which is Finn. So that's why a whole bunch of tentacles are going to lash out. It's actually going to stand up in the tank, so there's this distorted humanoid, hunchbacked, form. And since it didn't make its intelligence roll, its face is completely unformed and running apart. Right?
Okay.
And so that's when all these tentacles, basically, you guys kind of see a foot go up. You can see Silverbeak's foot go up, and then all these tentacles lash out toward Finn. Your combat, I believe your DCV is 7, I believe.
My DCV is 7, but I
Right.
think I might abort my next action to dodge out the way as well.
So you're going to abort the action and dodge. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay, so
Yes,
the
so I
dodge
went
will
back
bump
and-
your. Given my roll, the dodge will keep you from being grabbed.
Cool.
Right.
So obviously now I am
Right.
no longer necessarily next to my things on the bench.
That's right. I mean, you did get them. You have your things, but you had to, and so you basically do a Hail Mary dodge as these things swipe at you. So that's that. Okay, so that was 2, and I'm going to track its endurance because these are all important things.
So in the spirit of Ron's principle of maximum destruction, since it missed me, did it hit something else?
Yes, and we are in a wonderful place full of nasty, chemicals and stuff like that. And of course, that means that somebody's going to be taking 13 stun. That would be you, Finn, because of the gunk that just got splattered all over the place, including on you. But you didn't get grabbed, and you're not hit. And you did not get hit with vulnerability, because that would be to an attack, and you dodge the attack. So it's just susceptibility that gets you.
Okay, fair enough.
That is, therefore...
So that goes through my defenses.
Yes, no defense against that. You're like, man, this is getting old. And Jen will, seeing this, shouts, Finn! And abandoning all... I'll take her action in a minute. Let's just say that she is not... Remember that business about reading people's intentions by their postures? Getting out and staying safe is not the posture that Jen is adopting at this time. Good. So, we now have the beginning of segment 3. It is Silverbeak. You are currently having some problems breathing, for example.
Yes,
you are trapped in a tub of viscous fluid. You are not upright, You are seized by tentacles. Whatever shall you do?
All right. I was thinking if this is one of those American houses that are made of wood and always have a basement, I'd like to try
Good question. Not in this. Yeah, the kind of house that Rod described does not have a basement. And besides, this is a garage.
No house in the South has a basement.
That's right.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, I would like to try to punch through the glass of the. Is it a glass tank?
I think it's more.
No, this was more of a metal. Tank. Yeah.
A metal tank? Really?
Like a big system or
I have a speech balloon.
Yeah?
Brian, can you communicate with it? Use your mind.
Yeah, a guy finds out about your telepathy and now he's telling you how to use it.
Yeah, that's cool, but it's
other things on his
it's
mind.
read-only, man. It's read-only, right? My telepathy. Let me see that.
It is read-only, but that's not a bad thing.
It's read-only.
And not.
But
right.
that what?
I said
it's read-only, but what?
What I'm saying is that that's not a bad thing if it's read-only, because then you can talk to it with relevant information.
Then I can
talk to it.
Well, yes.
If you could breathe.
There's that.
Yes, of course. No, I will try to.
The whole head above fluid for a second while gasping out, your frantic phrase comes to mind. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. What will you do?
I will try. I need. I need to maneuver to get out of the water. Maybe you know what, this telepathy thing gave me an idea. Maybe I can try to read its intentions and use that to pry away from it. Like if I see it's trying to take my feet, I will move them away.
Okay. Or you can focus on the physical aspect of things if you want to try to escape. You could also, which is what I think Brian was, what I think Michael was trying to communicate, was that instead of fighting it physically, why don't you go full mental and discover everything you can about it?
Because I will drown.
Oh, not right away. And
not
also,
right away?
Yeah. And also, if you...
This is so dramatic, I'm sorry, but I know I'm suddenly in a red light, but it's just...
I was kind of wondering about that.
Coca-Cola... It was a Coca-Cola ad. The TV is still on. I should actually turn on the lights. Well, whatever. So I'm not drowning right now, all right?
You're not dying.
Just
yes.
A little bit.
And, right. And also,
I was panicking.
Presence attacks gain immense dice for saying the right thing in the right way.
Yeah, that's where
they get powerful. So keep that in mind as well. So what are you going to do? It's completely up to you.
Yes, all right. Well, then, if I do have the time, yes, I will use my telepathy powers. Full throttle is the expression.
Yes.
Like I want it. Yes. I don't know, man. I want to know all I can about this humanoid creature.
Okay, so here's what you're going to do. Since your telepathy is 0 endurance, then that means you can't push it, which is sort of a pity at the moment. And so then, but I will say that you can make an ego roll. So in your case, that's going to be 14 or less. Make 3 dice. It's a free action, or rather a 0 phase action. So it's a required roll. So go ahead and see if you make your ego roll. 3 dice and total them.
Yes, I got a 7.
Okay, so that means that you're able to keep yourself from thrashing and panicking and trying to escape the fluid. So basically a will roll. And so now you can roll your telepathy. You already contacted it with your telepathy earlier. That was not broken. Just roll your effect dice.
24.
Not bad. Not bad at all. So what that means is that you are able to tell that this being was a human being and has for a very long time been sedated and has been trying to escape, and the only way that it could escape where it was, well, let's not get all the details here, but suffice to say that it's being kept somewhere else that's not in this garage. And so either it stays stuck in the tank where it is, or it's able to manifest through some of its substance, which is over here. So basically think of this goop in two places, one of which is the body, or it can try to form its body here instead and therefore have escaped from the tank where it was. Not this tank. It wants to be in this tank.
All right, perfect.
And so you also get a name. 2 names, actually. But the first name is very much on its mind, surface thought, which is Man o' War. The name, the human name that you get is Darren Gates.
Cool. So can I do that thing you mentioned where I gasp for air and talk to them as a free action?
Yes. Because a presence attack is a free action. Yes.
All right, so
It helps that I had already specified that the tank is no longer full of fluid because a great deal of the fluid has gone to actually compose the body. That's why you're
perfect.
not. That's why you're not literally, held underwater.
Perfect.
It feels like you're underwater because of its sloshing around and your face was in it and stuff like that, but it's not like you're literally being held under the water.
I'm so relieved right now.
Mhm.
So I shout,
You are, however, a mess.
yes, of course. I shout, guys, it's Man of War, the old superhero. It's him. This is him.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, you don't need a presence attack for that. You're just talking. That's fine.
Yes.
Okay, so good. That's your Silverbeak's action. Now it's Michael's action.
Okay. Well, that's kind of a game changer. Sorry, I've got the document up. I'm looking at looking at power advantages again. Usable at range, usable on others. So that would give me 15. That'd be 3 dice, usable at range, usable on others. Am I right about that?
I think so.
Well,
what is the power?
The power would just be body, usable at range, usable on others.
Oh, wow.
Do you see what I'm getting at?
I do. Go ahead. I understand what you're doing, and that makes perfectly good sense.
All right. Do I have to attack him?
No. No, you don't.
All right. Well,
what you need is the control roll, right?
The control roll, yeah.
Right.
And that's a half phase action.
Right. And then the zap is the half phase action after that. Yes.
All right. Control roll. Whew, barely 12. That's under. Yeah. And I'll try to recorporate him using. But this is just.
You don't have to. You just grant it. There's no roll.
Yeah.
So
I'm just trying to think of. I'm trying to think of the special effects. Probably just like, Osiris seems like an appropriate.
That's right. The body coming together, right? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
To appear over the tank and
Oh my God! So
Right.
yes, so Osiris actually appears and does this.
Yeah.
Still getting used to this sort of thing.
Okay, that's
awesome.
13 power points. So
It's
that's
in his contract, apparently.
It was chiseled into the side of a pyramid.
Thanks, Led.
So that's you said that was 20 points a body, or 20
Sorry,
points?
no. 13 on the dice, which would be 7 or 6 or 7.
Why I don't think you need to roll dice.
It's not
Oh, I don't.
a
Oh,
blow roll.
No,
oh, it's just. Oh, you're right. You're right.
it's just an
So it's
attribute.
15 points a body. No, 8 points a body.
Right.
8. No, 7 points a body.
No, you round.
No,
up
it's
it.
you round and when you're on 0.5, you round in favor of the hero.
So 8. Okay.
Right.
There you go.
Excellent. Well, fantastic. Because what happens is all of a sudden, the figure becomes noticeably much more coherent, human, and the body actually coalesces into a standing form. There's hardly any fluid in the tank left. However, it is still got tentacles growing out of it, and it still is relatively faceless. So, so basically, you have brought the body together, but the mind is still not coherent.
All right.
So, excellent. That's the end of segment 3. Segment 4.
Beach balloon?
What's that?
What? Presence attack?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Speak, men of war. We're not here to hurt you. So,
Okay, so you use the name, so that's a die right there for sure. You're in combat, unfortunately, so that's -1 die.
yeah.
You have a weak reputation, so that's -1 die. You are in a the speak that works. Okay, yeah, it's a good monologue. So therefore, that's going to be 2d6 for that one. And then let's see, anything else that goes on in there? You showed your power.
Yeah.
And you're in an appropriate place. So yes, 2 more dice for those.
Okay, so I'm counting myself at 6 right now. I've been and rolling at 6. And holy crap. That is a 26.
Ooh, nice roll.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Things are turning around for the Oblate.
That's right. So, therefore, you definitely have it loses its next action, which is why on segment 4 it does not squeeze Silverbeak for 50 points of strength damage. And he's not flying right now, which means his force field would not work. So you just saved him from being badly, badly, badly injured. While it considers your actions. You can even see it's doing the whole monster tries to think.
Right. Okay.
Right. So, cool.
And
That was the end of 4, and Jen, who has a speed of 3, goes on 4 as well. So while it's trying to, and she actually is going to go over to Finn, and is basically going to, support you and start, like, she sees what you're trying to do and is sort of trying to help you with your stuff, and actually what she does, she actually interposes her body between you and the tank so that if any tentacles come after you, she's actually shielding you.
Okay.
Which is kind of weird because she's like this ordinary human and you're like this massively muscled,
Yes, well,
superhero, but she's the one who's actually shielding.
She can do that.
Yeah, she's actually shielding you as she's trying to help you get your stuff together.
hey, Ron.
Yeah.
No chance you made a try to think roll on phase 4 for that thing?
Not.
You made
No,
it
because
anyway.
you actually stalled it out from taking any action at all.
Okay.
Yeah. The trying to think is actually a half phase action on its part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah. So so in many ways you like protected everybody, but you also lost it a chance to try to think.
Right.
So
Well,
trade
what
off.
are you gonna do?
Yeah, well, that's okay because otherwise it really would have like
Yeah,
hurt him
yeah.
really badly. So, yeah, you sort of for whatever reason it doesn't squeeze you awfully, Silverbeak.
Good.
And since it doesn't have any actions that it's taking, getting away from it, you are still grabbed, but getting away from it might be a little easier this time. So,
Alright.
depending on what you want to do. But,
yes, I want to fly out of there, of course.
Okay, hold on just a moment, because we're now on
Yes.
segment 5, and the first person up finally is Finn.
Continuing to try and put together a chemical thing, be a half-phase action. Or
Well, now you are, so you got all the stuff you needed, you have formulated your plan, you got it, now it's the science. Right?
Okay, so this is an ongoing, longer action. I imagined it would be.
Well, you knew exactly what to do, so now the question is, can you do it in the space of one full phase, actually getting it all ready to go, for the proper chemicals, ready to go, is the,
Okay,
to use it.
fair enough.
Actually,
It's just
you know what, to
Forget
make
about all
it,
this lamb.
to actually administer it is part of this. Now's the moment. Make it go.
Oh, okay. If that's doable in a phase, I won't worry about the fact that I was obviously going to try and interpose myself to the other side of Jen. Because
You guys, she's trying to shield you, you're trying to shield
even though
her.
it's,
Right.
but no, if it seems plausible that we could together finish getting the chemicals ready and administer them, then I won't need to do that, and I will allow her to be the friend that she is and look out for me like that. Why not? So yes, science with a capital S and an exclamation mark, at least one, probably. Would you like me to make an intelligence roll to see if I can do it? This is not going to work. Oh, okay, that's a 12, which is unfortunately a failure.
Oh, you have an intelligence of 10?
Yes.
Oh.
I know, what sort of super scientist am I? But no,
Well, you're struggling with it.
yes.
Okay. You did have all the right things, you just weren't able to, get it together, or
It's not together.
what is it that you're actually going to do?
Maybe, as I say, mix various reagents together into a injectable form in one of the various syringy things that I use to administer these things. I think perhaps I am missing one key ingredient, which
Right.
must obviously be across the other side of the room in a cabinet next to I've just thought in a cabinet next to the tank.
Okay.
Perhaps, if you're happy with that. It just seems like a
Possibly. I mean, you did make the intelligence roll earlier. I'm thinking more in terms of actually putting it together properly to dose it.
Yeah.
You're like, I didn't get the amount right.
okay. That's fair.
So, so you need just a little. What is it? You can shout just a little more time.
Yes.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
So, so that good. That's that was during 5, and so the next person to go on 5 is going to be Silverbeak.
Yes. So you said something about presence attacks being free.
Yes, they are.
So I could try to do a presence attack to him to make him corner and then make it easier for me to fly away. That's plausible.
Yes.
Okay.
Or you
so,
could be even a little bit more direct and actually attempt to get him to literally put his mind together. You could say something to him.
Yes, I'm going for that. I take away the mask and I try to look him at his
Right.
face, wherever what
Mm-hmm.
as much as a face as he's got right now, and I call him by his name, which I'm sorry I should have
Darren Gates.
Darren
Yeah.
Gates.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Gates, yes, and I tell him, Mr. Gates, Darren, I'm on your side. I believe in you. We're getting out of this.
Well, you got 3 for the monologue.
Nice.
You got 2 for an appropriate setting, and you're -1 for being in combat. And so, therefore, now you've got a good reputation, but not with him specifically. So that's not going to count one way or the
People live
other.
in tanks. So
Yeah, exactly. He's not exactly up on the latest. And so, therefore, you're going to take your base, which is 4. You're going to have 8 dice.
Couldn't I do something to find out if he's met my grandfather?
That's going to be this is your free action. So you just enjoy your free action. You want to do something like that, you make it your regular action and keep going. Okay?
Okay.
Let's resolve this one right now because that's what's happening.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. 32 points.
32, fantastic. Okay. So, yes, between those 2 presence attacks, he is going to be dedicated to just putting his mind together. So there's no attack coming at this point. And then it's you still have an action.
Yes, I try to fly out.
That's actually, you know what? He drops the squeeze. That presence attack completely obviates both presence attacks. Just the first one kept him from squeezing you. This one means he's not. He drops the grab. So you can fly right out of the tank, no problem.
Great. Get on this side of the room.
And also, here's what given the confines of the area, Santiago, in order to keep from hurting yourself, you're going to have to make an acrobatics roll. Please, and you have acrobatics, so make your acrobatics roll.
12.
Excellent. Okay, so you acrobatically fly out of the tank because otherwise, I mean, it's the confines of a garage. Otherwise, you would have slammed into something. So, however, you do a little floop in the air and land on your feet, or stay just above the ground, however you want. But
so for my action, I'm thinking of 2 things. I'm going to choose one. I need to ask you first, Ron. A bit ago, when Ross narrated what he was doing when he failed the roll, remember?
Yeah.
that was
A back and
pretty
forth
naughty.
what?
Nothing gonna.
Oh, there was a back and forth between we two. If the problem was that he was just having trouble with the mix, or if he needed something from across the room. I don't know how. What's really on the page right now, because I could fly and bring him something if.
Right now, getting out of the tank and making the acrobatics roll, that's enough. That's your action. That was too
really?
That's way too complicated. That's complicated, and you're done. You're out. Okay.
Okay.
So, and you will also have spent a couple of points of endurance. Not that matters very much at this point, but a couple. So, next is going to be Michael.
Okay. If he's out, I am going to force wall between us and the tank.
Just in case.
At the risk of sounding far-fetched, I'd like this wall to feel as non-confrontational as possible. I'm just saying I'm not actually bubbling him in. I'm putting up a barrier.
Right. It's not going to be it's not going to make a steel cage or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, good. That's 30 points of force wall. And so make your control roll. Of course.
No. This is off my element.
This is ordinary. Okay.
This is one of my things that I do all the time, so that's 8 endurance.
Perfect. Okay, so yes, you can toss up the force wall, no problem, and that'll be your action. Do you want to say anything, do anything?
I'm just going to say, Finn, work quickly.
Right.
Man of War. try to.
Right.
I got to say something to follow up on what. Oh, he called him by his real name. So, Darren, if you can hear me, talk to us.
Nah, good.
Bring your mind together.
Excellent. So then on 6, he will do exactly that. And with a roll of an 8 on 11 or less,
oh, thank God,
his face forms into a human face. And he like basically collapses against the the edge of the tank. Although he doesn't go unconscious or something like that.
Okay.
So that's on 6. Finn is the first person to go on 8.
Okay. So, I established I had not managed to get the chemical solution together yet. Can I have another go? Is that...
Yep.
Cool. Let's keep trying. And it's going even worse, because that was a 50, which is, again...
Well, still, he's pretty quiescent at this point, so
yes.
I'm going to say that, then now, combat can probably diminish, as long as the, let's check something. I got to check something. Okay. You guys have a choice or a situation. Combat seems to have stopped for a second. However, there are certain conditions that he does not respond well to. Make that science roll. Make one more try at that science roll. Otherwise, the enrage kicks in. Right now, the presence attacks are keeping him down. And the communication is keeping him down. But the enrage may kick in. So, what do we get?
Oh, I got 4.
Excellent. All right. So, injectable, you said?
Yes.
So, with your tentacles, you whip out, you stretch over there, I imagine?
Yes. Whips back with the thing and then he plunges
I'll
forward
make a hole
across
in the first wall.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, and you only take 5 points of damage from your susceptibility.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So you guys have rescued Darren Gates. By the way, you'll discover that there was the power plant over at Brooke Army Medical Center just blew up. They built it in 2000. They started building it in 2009. It's been operative for a few years, and it just overloaded.
Okay.
All right. Interesting.
Right. Well,
All the aircon in San Antonio goes out for...
where do we go from here?
We're becoming quite the supergroup.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm kind of pleased. I mean, Finn was like the rocking scientist rather than the bruiser this time.
Yeah,
it's kind of an interesting deal. So
Finn, what are we going to do about your new roommate?
Yes, that's a good question. So, Brian, this is Man of War, the original Man of War. I guess you can tell that I kind of know about him. I've been able to recreate his powers, which is how I became a superhero. And
Oh, so that's how you got your powers.
yes.
you suddenly realize
okay.
that you guys are all smart enough to realize that all this weird biofluid all over the place in this garage has probably been bootlegged through multiple generations of Man of Warness all these years.
Yeah.
There's probably a fair amount of him or the power or the itness scattered through.
I look at Shen. So you have powers as well?
Well, you've been looking at him. Yeah, he. Do you know what he looks like, right?
No, Jen.
Yeah, I will.
Oh, Jen. You mean
Jen.
Jennifer Edwards? Jennifer Edwards says, "Why, yes. I have the superpower of knowing when the rest of you are being stupid."
That is
Well,
true.
use it.
And she says, "Brooke Army Medical Center, some sort of squad is almost certainly on its way here right now." And she looks at Finn
Well, I
and
can
says,
try it
she says
somewhere.
the network's being rolled up right now. They're on the doorstep.
Yes.
So do you guys want me to fly you out of here?
That might be difficult with so many people.
Yeah, you can't carry 4 people.
Can I X-ray vision
I can do.
outside to see if there's a situation outside right now?
Yes, you can. And
Again,
you're out of
man.
combat. You're out of
Man,
combat,
man.
so you look around and wait. Do you have that N-ray vision all the time, or is this just?
No, this is. I would have to rearrange my VPP.
That's okay, but you're out of combat, so that's not a problem.
Yeah.
And
I'm
so
doing the mirror thing for all my sensory
excellent.
perceptions, I think.
This mirror is really turning into your Eye of Agamotto. So
Yeah.
So you end up with knowing that no, they're not here yet.
All right. Well, we need to get in our cars and get the hell out of here because I can't be leaving my car here and there's going to be a SWAT team. So let's hustle.
Yes. Can you give us the lift? My car's somewhere else.
Yeah. Get in.
So I approach Manowar. So what's he look like? Is he like buffed up but old? Is he
Right, that's exactly right. He is a very, very burly, and his body is still distorted. It's not like properly proportioned. And so with like this hunchback kind of situation, and he's still kind of tentacular, with tentacles and things, and he doesn't have his face is human, but it's partly buried in mass. A fair amount of him is translucent, and also his hands are like bigger than. I mean, his hands and arms are bigger than. They're like Hulk, arms and hands, and so there's more to it as well. We'll talk more about that later. Jen will do more thing. Hold on. Jen will do one more thing, which is to look around and get a tank, like a portable carrying case for fluid, and Finn knows this is the concentrate.
Yes.
So basically, she's bringing along the emergency concentrate, for setting up elsewhere. She looks around and says, "Well, it was a nice place, Finn."
It had its moments. Finn also grabs the communicating device for talking to the biohackers, although they are being wound up, maybe.
Right. Well, so this is like the special laptop that isn't connected to the real internet and that kind of thing, right? Yeah. So
I take the guy I hold him,
Mm-hmm.
and I tell them, so I'm going to a safe place. Just text me when you want to meet.
Okay. Good enough, guys?
So I fly out with the guy.
Good enough.
Okay.
That's it.
And so, good enough. And also, so are you guys going to blow up the garage?
I don't have any way of blowing up a garage, although I can.
I know somebody who has a way of blowing up the garage.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. If Finn says we need to destroy this evidence, then
we
I
need
can
to cover
handle
our
that.
tracks.
What?
We definitely need to cover our tracks.
All right. Well,
We'll blame my brother.
I don't know if your brother is good for this, but
We'll find.
I don't know if I need to VPP up some sort of controlled burn thing, or if I can just energy blast this. Well, that.
You can probably just energy blast it.
Okay.
Enough weird chemicals in there to
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's.
burn it down.
It's
Consider it
science.
done.
Everybody knows science explodes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doubly so.
All right. Consider it done.
All right.
Lance of Arnhem.
So
That's
we'll
right. Mm-hmm.
lead off
So-
into the afternoon.
Yeah.
And
Excellent. All right, guys. Well, you definitely all get 3 experience points.
okay. 8.
What is the process? for
Actually,
sending
let's make it 4. 4 experience points.
Oh, thank God.
Which is probably about time for people to say, now how should I spend?
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm strongly considering just plowing all that into dexterity
Wow.
because
All right.
I could
Yeah.
boost.
Yeah.
So, with your blessing,
That would be 3 points of dexterity, right?
yes.
All right. Yeah. That's enough
that
to
kicks
pop
me.
you up. Yeah, enough to pop you up to a new combat value.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, folks, that was a fair amount of fun, actually.
Yeah, that was good. That was
Yeah.
good.
And looks like you're going to need a headquarters.
Yeah.
Need to kick it to some logistics about that. You kind of have an end. I mean, the Myrmidon presence seems to have been relatively positive, if perhaps a little, shall we say, a little too convenient.
Right.
And
Sound ideal.
and I think you guys have realized that Ghost is like a clear and present danger.
Yeah.
In a variety of ways. And also, there's the Monsanto is no small entity in
That actually reminds me of something. This whole shebang with Mana War interrupted me just when I was about to try to nail down exactly what Silverbeak was getting out of my mind. And so I would like to know if we can do a scene or if we can just do a panel, as it were, where I question him further, because I haven't forgotten about that, and see if I can get him to connect the dots for me.
Right. Well, no, I think that's actually probably been established. I mean, we have, if you want to role play it a little bit, all 3 of you can easily, point out. I mean, you saw the way he reacted. All you have to ask is like, "What's wrong? What did you see?"
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I want to know. Like,
right. So Brian,
except in this case,
right, Brian, will you tell him what you saw? That you saw that he fought the same guy that you met?
I mean, after this whole fight with the Man of War, of course, I will tell them everything.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, you guys put everything. You guys are able to connect this quite easily. So
because that's what I need.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, we have really bonded over this. I mean,
well, it means there's some motivating information as well. I mean,
and I mean, I have no reason to keep pretending that.
Right. Kind of a relief, really, right? And also, besides, here you were worried about being an outlaw superhero, and then you just met somebody who's 20 times the outlaw you'd ever be.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's good. I mean, we used it during the fight, so that's the last sliver of pretense I had. It's gone. I mean, I was shouting, "His name is
right, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I read minds, of course.
Not bad. See you guys later. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Sounds good. Good night.
All right. Good night, guys.